Ladies and gentlemen, beloved friends gathered here this morning, hear this truth: prosperity is not a distant stranger waiting at the door of your life. It is your intimate companion, already knocking. The secret that has turned paupers into princes, and doubt into dollars is simple and direct. Your inner word fashions your outer world. Wealth is a living thing that answers to the tone of your mind, to the words you speak, to the picture you hold steady within. If you would have riches come to you so swiftly it startles the senses, begin where riches always begin. Within. First, understand that there is a divine order of abundance. There is an infinite supply flowing through the universe, and it is impersonal, impartial, and perfectly obedient to law. It answers not to fear but to faith, not to complaint but to conviction. When you vibrate with certainty, you tune into that stream. When you quake with lack, you repel it. Therefore, change your inner broadcast. Declare, not wishfully, not nervously, but with calm, unshakable authority, that abundance is yours now. Speak it aloud. Let your voice be a decree that takes possession of the field of your life. Next, refuse to sin with your imagination. Many seek riches while keeping the gate of their thoughts open to scarcity. What if I fail? What if there isn't enough? These little seeds of doubt will grow into a harvest of frustration. Instead, plant now what you desire to harvest. See the sum you desire as already paid, already in hand. Imagine the sound of the check being endorsed, the handshake that seals the contract, the door that opens into a room where your name is on the title. The imagination obeys command. Feed it the picture of success, and it will labor mightily to produce the evidence. Act as though you already possess it. This is not cruelty to the present moment, it is an act of creative faith. Dress your mind in the garments of victory. Meet every business, every conversation, every decision with the posture of someone who owns the outcome. This confidence opens doors. People unconsciously respond to the energy of certainty. Opportunities present themselves to those who expect them. Do not wait for your bank book to validate you. Validate it by the way you carry yourself and the decisions you make. Cultivate the habit of giving. The universe loves circulating currents. If you clutch, you clog the flow. Instead, give intelligently. Your time, your resources, your ideas. And with every generous act you send a message that there is more where that came from. The universe will honor this circulation with returns that are often multiplied and surprising. Never give grudgingly, give as a sacrament of gratitude, knowing that generosity is not expense, but an investment in the law that returns all things in greater measure. Master your word. Words are seeds. A careless word can impoverish a year, a wise word can create a fortune. When temptation to gossip, to complain, to doubt arises, answer with silence or with an affirmative. Replace, I can't, with, I can and I will. Replace, there's not enough with, there is a perfect supply. Speak not of problems but of solutions. Make your speech a ledger where only prosperous entries are kept. The spoken word arrests forces in the unseen, and sets agencies in motion on your behalf. Eliminate the habit of anxiety about money. Worry is a misuse of the imagination. It attempts to solve by rehearsal of disaster. Instead, direct your imagination to constructive forecasting. Plan, yes, but plan from the vantage point of faith. When a worry comes, name it, dismiss it, and replace it with a picture of the desired result. Do not debate the problem, declare the outcome. This is not denial, it is command. The mind that habitually commands will be obeyed by the circumstances. Be alert to the small, daily opportunities. Great riches seldom arrive as lightning bolts. More often they come as a string of small doors opened by consistent, accurate action. Be stoic about details. Keep your accounts clean, your promises honored, your word a bond. The person who is trusted in little things is entrusted with much. Attend to the micro possibilities of your day. The extra call, the prompt email, the courteous attention. For they are the pebbles that build mountains of fortune. Cultivate a grateful heart. Gratitude is a magnet for increase. Give thanks even before the check arrives. Thank for the appointment you will receive, for the contract that is forming, for the client you will meet. Gratitude changes your posture and aligns you with the good already at work on your behalf. Each grateful thought multiplies the invisible currency of favor and goodwill around you. Obey the intuitive promptings. There is within you a quiet guide, a still, small voice that whispers the next right step. When you practice listening, the guidance becomes clearer. Act quickly on intuition, do not debate it into paralysis. Prompt, decisive obedience to inner direction opens channels that slow, cautious reasoning sometimes misses. Remember, opportunity often arrives first as a nudge and not as a shout. Refuse to play small because of past errors. The man or woman who would now increase their income must not be shackled by former mistakes. Every failure is a tuition paid for future competence. Extract the lesson, then release the shame. The universe does not hold ledger entries of condemnation. It responds to readiness. Stand up, amend where necessary, and move forward with renewed confidence. Anchor every plan in purpose. Money is a servant, not the master. When your pursuit of wealth is tethered to a clear, noble purpose. Service, freedom, the ability to bless others. Your efforts gain a moral momentum that attracts support. People and opportunities rally to those whose aims are larger than selfish gain. Let your wealth be a temple that houses your higher work. Finally, affirm daily. Create a short, potent declaration. A statement of what is true for you now. Speak it every morning and before sleep. Let it be the drumbeat that trains your mind and circumstances to conform. Make it specific, positive, and present. I am now receiving easy, abundant, lawful income. Doors open for me. I move with wisdom and boldness, and prosperity flows to me. Say it until the words sink into the marrow of your being. Do these things and watch. Money will arrive with a speed that surprises reason, but not the law. It will come through legitimate channels, with partners and opportunities that reflect the integrity of your inner decree. It will not feel like theft or trickery. It will feel like a quick and just acknowledgement of the value you have been aligning to receive. Wealth, when rightly invited, is not theft, it is reward. Invite it with the dignity of your spirit, and it will come, not because the world is unfair, but because a divine law, immutable and generous, has been set into motion by your faith, your word, and your steady, expectant action. Wealth responds instantly to unwavering belief and spoken affirmation, because the universe operates by law, not by chance. Every thought and word carries a vibration that sets unseen forces into motion. When one believes without hesitation, that belief becomes a command written upon the invisible fabric of life. It instructs circumstances, people, and opportunities to align in a way that manifests the image held within the mind. The person who believes absolutely is like a magnet charged with certainty. Nothing can resist the pull of that conviction. The law of belief is impartial. It serves saints and skeptics alike. Whatever you believe with feeling, you draw into experience. The world outside you is but a mirror reflecting your innermost conviction. If you believe in lack, lack will come to prove you right. If you believe in abundance, abundance will hasten to obey. The speed with which wealth responds is determined by the clarity and steadiness of belief. Wavering faith produces uncertain results, but unwavering belief becomes a decree to which life itself must conform. Every person is surrounded by a mental atmosphere, a field charged with the tone of their thoughts. This atmosphere attracts its likeness. A man who walks in fear of poverty keeps his gate open to lack, while the one who speaks prosperity draws it from all directions. There is no mystery in this law. It is as practical as gravity. The moment you say with full conviction, I am rich in mind and in supply, you release a vibration that calls its equal from the ethers. The universe begins to rearrange itself to make your statement true. People are prompted, doors open, ideas flash, and what seemed impossible begins to take form. It is not magic, it is law. Belief is the trigger, and affirmation is the activator. To believe half-heartedly is to cancel your own decree, but to believe absolutely is to create a straight channel for prosperity to flow. The spoken word is the instrument of manifestation. Words are not mere sounds, they are creative commands. When spoken with authority, they penetrate the unseen substance of life and set it into motion. To say, I am prosperous, with faith, is to issue a decree to the creative law. The universe, being obedient, must respond. Yet few realize the power they hold in their tongue. They speak carelessly, canceling their wealth with words of doubt. They say, I can't afford it, or, money never stays with me, and then wonder why the flow of supply is blocked. Each word is a seed planted in the garden of experience. Speak lack, reap lack. Speak abundance, reap abundance. The soil of the universe cannot discriminate between good and bad seed. It only produces what is planted. Therefore, to become rich swiftly and lawfully, you must discipline your speech. Let every word be a declaration of prosperity, confidence, and gratitude. Belief must be felt, not merely spoken. The emotion behind your words gives them power. To declare, "I am wealthy," without feeling is like striking a match underwater. But when your declaration is charged with conviction, the invisible responds instantly. This is why the childlike mind, free from doubt, manifests quickly. It believes purely, without questioning how or when. The adult mind, clouded by logic and memory of failure, delays its own good through reasoning and fear. To believe unwaveringly is to suspend disbelief. It is to act as though what you desire is already accomplished. You walk, speak, and think from the standpoint of fulfillment, not desire. You stop asking, "When?" and begin saying, "Now." You stop looking for evidence and become the evidence through your attitude. Life obeys this confidence because confidence is faith in motion. To strengthen belief, repetition is required. Just as muscles are built by repeated exercise, faith grows through continual affirmation. Every morning and night, speak words of wealth aloud, until they become the natural language of your mind. The subconscious accepts repetition as truth. What you impress upon it repeatedly will soon express itself outwardly. Say, "Money flows to me easily and in perfect order. I am in harmony with abundance. Opportunities appear wherever I go." Speak these not as hope but as law. Let the tone of your voice carry certainty. When doubts arise, do not argue with them. Replace them instantly with affirmation. You cannot hold two opposing thoughts and prosper. Choose the thought that serves your good and repeat it until it becomes your only reality. Belief is demonstrated through action. When you truly believe you are rich, your choices reflect it. You no longer act from fear of loss but from confidence in supply. You invest time, energy, and attention wisely, not anxiously. You speak generously. You walk with assurance. The universe reads the language of action as clearly as the language of words. If you declare abundance but act in fear, your vibration is divided. But when belief and behavior agree, the current becomes direct and strong. Then wealth comes quickly because there is no interference. The person who truly believes does not chase money, he attracts it. He knows that provision follows vision, and so he focuses on inner alignment rather than outer pursuit. He works with enthusiasm because he knows each task is part of a larger pattern of prosperity unfolding. Faith must not depend on appearances. Appearances are the shadow of old beliefs, not the prophecy of new ones. When the outer world seems barren, that is the very moment to affirm abundance with greater conviction. The unseen is already rearranging itself in your favor. To give in to appearances is to break the vibration and halt the flow. Therefore, look not to the balance in your bank but to the balance of your belief. Speak your wealth into the vacuum until it fills with form. Declare that everything you need comes swiftly and easily, that perfect opportunities are seeking you. Speak as the owner, not the seeker. Ownership in consciousness precedes ownership in reality. Doubt is the great thief of wealth. It is a silent saboteur that cancels the decree before it manifests. Doubt enters through impatience. When results do not appear at once, the mind begins to question, "Is this working?" That question alone creates resistance. The law of supply is exact but not bound to human timing. Its speed matches the steadiness of your belief. When you remain calm and certain, the process accelerates. When you grow restless and fearful, it slows. Therefore, practice calm expectation. Expectation is faith with a schedule, and it invites fulfillment swiftly. Surround yourself with the vibration of wealth. Keep company with thoughts, people and environments that reflect the abundance you seek. Read words that inspire belief. Listen to voices that speak success. Dwell on images of prosperity. The mind is impressionable. It absorbs the tone of its surroundings. Guard it carefully. If you allow fear or lack into your environment, you dilute your belief. Keep your atmosphere pure and charged with success. The universe moves fastest through those who hold a steady, high vibration of certainty. Remember that wealth is not merely money. It is ideas, inspiration, health, love, and opportunity, all forms of supply. When you believe in abundance in one area, it overflows into all others. Money is simply the visible measure of invisible confidence. When your faith is unwavering, the invisible substance of prosperity crystallizes into tangible form. You may receive a new idea, a favorable meeting, an unexpected check, or a door that opens where none existed before. These are not coincidences, they are the echoes of your belief returning as form. The stronger your conviction, the faster the echo returns. Wealth comes swiftly when your inner command is clear, unwavering, and spoken with authority. The imagination is the workshop where riches are first built, the silent architect of every fortune that has ever been made. Nothing that exists in the physical world began outside of imagination. Every house, invention, empire, and fortune began as an image, a mental design held firmly in the mind of its creator. The imagination is the invisible factory of creation, and what it produces there will eventually appear in form, when the vision is sustained with faith and emotion. To understand how to get rich swiftly, one must learn to direct imagination, as deliberately as an engineer directs a machine. The one who governs their imagination governs their destiny, because imagination is the womb of reality. Whatever you dwell upon within your mind takes shape in your world. If you persist in seeing yourself prosperous, strong, and supplied, life will obey that picture with precision. The creative substance of the universe is impressionable. It receives and reproduces the pictures you consistently hold. You do not attract what you want occasionally. You attract what you imagine continually. The law of life operates through sustained mental images. The man who pictures failure, even while wishing for success, unknowingly creates the failure he fears. The woman who visualizes bills piling up, even while praying for wealth, multiplies the very condition she resists. But the one who holds a steady picture of abundance and opportunity, despite outer evidence, plants the seed of wealth in the soil of the unseen. That seed, nourished by repetition and feeling, must sprout into circumstances that mirror the inner vision. The world is a mirror, and the imagination is the face it reflects. To master imagination is to master manifestation. Imagination works best when it is vivid and emotional. The clearer and more detailed the image, the faster it takes form. Close your eyes and see your goal is already realized. If it is a house, walk through its rooms in thought. Feel the texture of the walls, the sound of your footsteps on the floor, the sunlight streaming through the windows. If it is financial success, see your accounts filled, your debts cleared, your name respected, your work flourishing. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. It accepts every image you present as fact and begins to organize conditions that align with it. The more real you make the picture within, the sooner you will see its reflection without. The imagination is not idle fantasy, it is the shaping power of creation. Every great achiever has used it, consciously or unconsciously, as the inner canvas where destiny is painted. To accelerate the process, imagination must be married to belief. Imagination without faith is daydreaming, but imagination with belief becomes creative power. When you imagine and believe simultaneously, the universe receives a perfect command. You must imagine as though the picture is already true. You must feel that it exists now, not in the future. The future is always postponed reality, but the now is creation's workshop. Speak and think as one already in possession of the good you desire. When your inner world is saturated with the feeling of fulfillment, the outer world has no choice but to comply. The law is exact. Life cannot withhold from the one who already holds the image of completion within. The imagination must also be guarded from intrusion. Many allow the weeds of worry and doubt to grow among their visions. They picture success in one moment and disaster in the next. Such divided imagery produces confusion in the creative field. The law of attraction does not know which seed to grow, so it grows both. A harvest of mixed results. To get rich quickly and harmoniously, you must become a watchman over your inner pictures. The instant a negative image arises, replace it with the desired one. Do not wrestle with the unwanted thought, simply overwrite it with faith. See again what you choose to see. Repeat the scene until it becomes your dominant vision. In this way, imagination becomes a disciplined power rather than a restless wanderer. Imagination thrives in stillness. The mind that is constantly agitated cannot create clearly. Set aside time each day to be silent and inwardly focused. Close your eyes and build your wealth mentally. Visualize opportunities appearing, projects completing, payments received, and doors opening. Feel the satisfaction, the relief, the gratitude, as though all were accomplished now. The emotion of fulfillment seals the picture in the subconscious, and from that moment, unseen forces begin to move. New ideas flash into your mind. People come into your life. Coincidences appear that defy logic. This is the unseen responding to the image you have impressed upon it. The clearer the picture, the more precise the manifestation. The imagination is like a projector. Whatever film you run through it will be displayed on the screen of life. Imagination is also the cure for limitation. When people say, "I can't afford it," "It's impossible," or "It's too late," they are imprisoning themselves in a picture of lack. But imagination is freedom itself. You can imagine wealth even while poor, success even while struggling, abundance even while surrounded by debt. This ability is divine. When you imagine from abundance rather than toward it, you shift dimensions of consciousness. You step into a mental world where the good you seek already exists, and the material world must eventually follow. Those who live richly in imagination cannot remain poor in reality. Their thoughts outgrow their conditions, and soon their conditions must expand to match their thoughts. The one who imagines small lives small. The one who imagines great rises swiftly, because the law must balance the image and the experience. The power of imagination is multiplied through repetition and emotion. The picture must be charged with feeling to give it vitality. Feeling is the electricity that animates the form. The stronger your emotional engagement, the faster the result. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It combines belief and emotion into one current of creative force. When you imagine with gratitude, as though the wealth were already yours, you are using the highest frequency of creative thought. You are not asking, you are affirming possession. The universe hears the vibration of completion, not the cry of lack. Therefore, imagine richly, feel deeply, and repeat daily. This rhythm imprints your subconscious and programs your reality. The imagination can also be directed by words. When you speak affirmations, accompany them with mental pictures. If you say, "I am receiving large sums of money easily," see the money arriving in your account. Visualize yourself handling it, giving, saving, investing. When you say, "New doors of opportunity are opening for me," imagine the specific doors opening. See the faces of those who welcome you. Feel the success that follows. The union of word and image is irresistible. The word gives command, the image gives design. Together they form the blueprint that the creative law follows. Imagination can dissolve obstacles. When faced with difficulty, instead of worrying, enter your mind and picture the problem resolved. See harmony where confusion was, flow where there was delay, gain where there was loss. The subconscious mind cannot hold two pictures at once, it must choose one. When you insist upon the image of success, the obstacle fades, for it was only the shadow of an old image. To imagine solution is to command it. Every problem is an opportunity for the imagination to prove its power. You need not know how things will work, simply see them as complete and right, and the how will appear in due time. Those who rise fastest in wealth are those who have mastered mental pictures. They see what others do not see. They imagine possibilities before evidence. They act from vision rather than reaction. While others complain about circumstances, they are constructing new realities in thought. This creative dominance gives them an advantage that appears supernatural, yet it is entirely lawful. They are simply using imagination consciously, while most use it unconsciously against themselves. When imagination is trained, it becomes a servant of purpose instead of a producer of fear. To accelerate riches, the imagination must become habitual. Every idle moment can be turned into creative rehearsal. While walking, waiting, or resting, visualize your goals in motion. Picture the life you desire unfolding easily. Let the inner movie play so frequently that it becomes familiar. Familiarity breeds acceptance, and what the subconscious accepts, it must produce. The imagination is not distant or abstract, it is practical and immediate. It is the tool by which thought becomes form and desire becomes possession. The speed of your wealth depends on the intensity and constancy of your inner vision. The clearer you see it within, the faster it will appear without. Gratitude and generosity accelerate the divine circulation of abundance, because they open the channels through which prosperity flows. The universe is a system of perfect balance and movement. Nothing is hoarded, everything circulates. The rivers flow to the ocean, the tides return, the air moves, and the seasons change. Wealth obeys the same rhythm. When one gives thanks and gives freely, they enter this rhythm consciously. Gratitude draws more to be grateful for, and generosity declares faith in the endless supply. The person who practices both lives in harmony with the current of abundance, and what they release returns multiplied. The miserly spirit closes the flow, believing supply is limited. The generous soul proves the law, demonstrating that what is given returns in greater measure. To get rich quickly and righteously, one must cultivate a heart that gives and a mind that appreciates. Gratitude magnetizes, generosity multiplies. Together, they become the secret circulation of prosperity. Gratitude is not a mere emotion. It is a powerful vibration that communicates with the unseen. When you give thanks, you affirm that the good you desire is already yours. Gratitude says to the universe, I see my blessing, even before it arrives in form. This acknowledgement acts as faith in action, and faith is the substance that shapes reality. The grateful person never speaks lack. They do not say, I wish things were better. They say, things are working for my good. They look at every circumstance as preparation for increase. The act of thanksgiving transforms perception, turning obstacles into opportunities and delays into divine timing. Gratitude changes the mental atmosphere, and that atmosphere attracts blessings of its own kind. When one lives in gratitude, they tune into the frequency of wealth, for wealth and thankfulness vibrate together. The ungrateful mind cannot see abundance even when surrounded by it. Gratitude opens the eyes of the soul to the prosperity already at hand and calls forth more from the unseen reservoir. Generosity is gratitude in motion. It is the proof of one's faith in supply. When you give, you declare that there is more where that came from. You affirm abundance not only in word but in deed. This act removes fear and loosens the grip of scarcity thinking. The one who gives freely moves from the consciousness of lack to the consciousness of plenty. The universe reads this act as a signal of readiness to receive. Every gift releases an equivalent or greater return, because giving and receiving are one motion, two ends of the same current. Money, ideas, opportunities, all flow through circulation. The more freely you let them move, the faster they return. Those who clutch, who hoard, who fear loss, create stagnation. Their flow slows because they interrupt the law of movement. But the generous, those who circulate their blessings with joy, experience rapid increase. It is impossible to outgive the law. It always returns multiplied to the open hand. Gratitude must be practiced even before the evidence appears. To thank after receiving is polite. To thank before receiving is creative. When you give thanks in advance, you declare belief in the invisible supply. You affirm that the law of abundance is already working for you. This preemptive gratitude quickens manifestation, because it proves faith. The universe rushes to validate such certainty. You might wake with nothing in your hand, but thank for the wealth in your heart. That vibration sets unseen processes in motion. You may not know the channel through which supply will come, but gratitude will find it. The thankful mind does not command how, it simply knows that good is on the way. This calm assurance removes resistance and invites miracles. Generosity should always be guided by wisdom and joy. True giving is not forced, not measured in reluctance or guilt. It flows naturally from inner conviction. When you give from fear or obligation, the vibration is low and the return slow. But when you give from joy and confidence, the vibration is high, and the return swift. Give to where you feel life, where your heart feels expansion. It may be a person in need, a project that inspires, or even yourself in the form of self-investment. Every act of giving is a declaration of alignment with infinite source. You do not give to lose, you give to circulate. As you give, affirm silently, this gift returns to me multiplied and blessed. Such giving becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. In due season, the harvest will appear, often from unexpected directions. Gratitude dissolves envy, jealousy, and competition, for it recognizes that each person's supply is tailored to their vibration. There is no shortage in divine substance. The success of one does not diminish the success of another. The grateful person rejoices in others' good, knowing it signals the nearness of their own. When you see someone prosper, give thanks, saying, "That good is also moving toward me." This attitude turns the mind from separation to connection, from resentment to readiness. You cannot attract what you secretly resent. Gratitude neutralizes that poison and keeps the channel open for your own blessings. Generosity strengthens faith, because every time you give, you prove that you are not dependent on visible supply. You declare allegiance to the unseen source. The more you act in this faith, the stronger it becomes. You begin to trust the flow so completely that you no longer worry about provision. You know that as you release, you make room for more. Like breath itself, the law of abundance works through inhaling and exhaling. To hold your breath is to die. To hold your wealth is to stagnate. But to breathe freely, to give freely, is to live in rhythm with divine law. That rhythm produces a constant renewal of prosperity. Gratitude must also be extended to oneself. Many block their own prosperity through self-condemnation. They thank the universe yet criticize themselves, unaware that the two cannot exist together. To be grateful for yourself, your efforts, your growth, your existence, is to harmonize with abundance. You affirm that you are worthy of good, that your life is a channel through which prosperity expresses. This self-gratitude expands confidence, and confidence attracts increase. The person who loves and thanks themselves becomes a magnet for opportunities. Because they carry the vibration of approval. The universe mirrors that approval with blessings and success. Even challenges deserve gratitude. Every difficulty carries within it the seed of advantage. When you thank life for its trials, you disarm them. Gratitude converts resistance into revelation. The moment you can bless the storm, you change its nature. Many discover their wealth only after being grateful for the very losses that seemed to deny it. Gratitude transforms setbacks into stepping stones, and delays into preparation. The law cannot give more to the one who curses what they have. It gives freely to the one who blesses everything. Generosity creates invisible allies. When you give sincerely, you activate goodwill in others and in the unseen realm. People are moved to help you, doors open unexpectedly, situations turn in your favor. The generous spirit carries a vibration that others feel. It draws cooperation, friendship, and trust. Prosperity flows easily in environments of goodwill, because generosity neutralizes fear and competition. When you give to another, you give to yourself. For all life is connected in one circulation. Every blessing you release circles back in another form, often greater than you imagined. Gratitude and generosity are twin forces that purify desire. They ensure that your pursuit of wealth remains aligned with the good of all. When gratitude fills your heart, greed cannot enter. When generosity governs your hand, selfishness dissolves. This purity attracts not only money but peace, respect, and joy. The wealthy who are ungrateful are never satisfied. Their riches become chains. But those who give thanks and give freely live in ease, for their wealth flows rather than clings. The faster you wish to grow rich, the more you must align with the circulation of life. Gratitude is the intake. Generosity is the outflow. Together they keep the river of abundance alive and strong. The one who gives thanks continually and gives joyfully will find that prosperity moves toward them with a speed that astonishes logic, because the law of circulation never fails.